All right, everybody. So we had voted at our previous meeting that these meetings would be recorded and they will be posted to our website. So just everybody is aware of that, first thing. So we're gonna call the meeting to order with the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, so we have the recognition of visitors and public input. We have a few visitors here today. We have our budget committee. Looks like some of them stepped out, but for they exited before we could introduce them. But you know, I will just say I'm really looking forward to working with all of you, being a collaborative group with the board, and we've got some work to do. So I'm looking forward to it. But we'll start down here. If you want to introduce yourself, and
Chris Balding from the town of Charlestown. Ditto, looking forward to hopefully being an extension and helping the board make some informed decisions.
thank you.
Michael Aaron from Hackworth, also hoping to work together with everyone.
Jennifer Marchese, Elspeth, with all of you and helping out, really, it's providing a service for everybody.
Steve Burrow from Walpole, and absolutely hopefully we can work in concert with the board time to time.
Steve D'Alessio from Walpole. I'm also selected in Walpole, and absolutely working together is the only way to go.
Great. Well, I know I speak for everyone here that we really are looking forward to it, and we've definitely got some work to do, so we'll get there. Yeah. Do any of you have anything further to share?
I'd ask Christie if she would get us a copy of next year's budget.
Okay, yeah.
I don't see real point of focusing on the next 10 weeks. It's almost over. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
But and next year's, of course, is already passed. But for us to immerse ourselves, that would be probably the way to go.
Yeah.
We'll spend some time getting up to speed before you get your process started, I guess, roughly October, right?
Yep. Yeah. So we will help you as best we can. The next part of our public visitors is our open board seat. Wait, is that? No. Yeah, sorry, I was skipping ahead.
I want to welcome everybody to being part of our Mountain Committee. Budget and financing is very important to our district, and I really appreciate you and your time that you're going to be putting into working with us. I don't know what your meetings are, when you're going to schedule meetings, but if there's any information that I myself can get you, or Dave Jack is our interim business manager, we're more than happy to.
Right. So the last part of this, is there anybody else who has anything from the public that they would like to say?
You don't want to say anything? Or were you just? We're just the school board rep. Okay. From high school, yeah.
Okay.
Not just. Not just.
So the next order of business is new business, which we are addressing our the vacancy for the Langdon School Board seat and interviews. And we had one candidate, which we're very excited to bring on and have you introduce yourself. So I'll give the floor to Kevin Keith from Hampshire.
I'll sit here. Well, thank you. My name is Kevin Keith. I have been a Langdon resident since 2016, and I always thought maybe the school board was the thing I wanted to do, but I was going in graduate school at the time. I'm on faculty at Landmark College, so I have teaching experience. as well as my undergraduate degree was in computer science, so I teach computer science. I thought I wanted to be on the school board, but Mary Kelly had been in that position for, I don't know how long, but didn't really want to disturb that. Then when she decided to leave, I thought this was a great opportunity for me to step in and contribute what I can to this position. It's kind of short term. It doesn't only goes till March of next year, so it's not forever. Yeah. So.
Well, then you can always.
Oh, I can always write. I can definitely, definitely put my name forward and be voted upon at that. Any other questions? I don't. It's an interview, and I thought, like every other interview I've been to with education, there's always like 50 people in the room for every.
There's a lot more people here than there normally are, so.
Okay,
yeah, you
well,
get the
that's
special.
right. That's special, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna open it up. Are there any, is there a motion on the floor to discuss?
You want a motion to discuss? Motion we discuss
Well,
or topic or
Or motion to accept.
are there questions? Are there?
I don't have any questions. I'll make a motion to, I forgot your last name.
Keith.
That's your last name?
Yeah, it's very
I,
confusing. Don't
I make a
worry.
motion to have Mr. Keith join us as a school board member.
I'll second.
You wanted to say appoint.
Point.
To appoint.
That's what we're doing, I guess. It's point. Okay.
So.
So the
Shelley,
motion is to appoint Mr. Keith as our representative from Langdon to the school board.
Okay. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Welcome.
All right.
Okay, hold on one second. So because I'm zooming in, you have to do a roll call vote. I'm sorry.
Your apology is not accepted.
Well, I can go away and you can do it without me.
No, so, all right, we'll do a roll call though. Jamie, I'm gonna go with you first.
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Melissa,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
me, yes. There we go. Thank you, Jamie.
So what do I do?
So
Yes.
you will connect with Misty in the future to get sworn in, much like these folks did tonight.
Have your ID with you now. I'm happy to do that.
And Mr. Keith, I'd like to introduce you to our administrators.
I've met some of our
Chris Young,
administrators. Yes.
Gail Rowe. And there's Justin Casarino and Kathy.
Which,
Figueroa.
do you tell me which school you're in?
I'm now citizen area.
Yeah. Okay.
And Kathy.
Stay for.
CMS and.
Andrew, I'm the director of special education.
Richard.
Mine is first born, actually. Kristen Wilson, Director of Curriculum Instruction and Assessment.
Chris Young, Charles Burner.
I would also like to make sure that you meet our student reps.
Hi, I'm Sophia Broder-Stevens, and Marcus isn't here with us tonight. He had a sad tracking injury.
Yeah.
It's nice meeting you.
So obviously you're welcome to sit here, and would you take his place at one of the seats and,
He has to be sworn in.
Yes.
but just wouldn't vote? Or you continue to sit in the audience?
Misty, can you swear him in now? Or, yeah, she'll take him in the foyer and swear him in.
Bet you didn't expect it to be this quick, huh?
None of the other ones have been.
We'll have you
so this
assigned
is
to
a-
committees before you even get back.
I believe you'll be on the policy committee, the most favorite committee. All right, so Misty will take care of that.
Thank you, Miss.
We are going to be signing the MS-22, which Lori has here.
Mr. Jack will also talk about it
Okay,
during his report, but just need to sign on the right-hand side and there'll be a couple discussions about it.
All right, so that's gonna be part of your report, or the business report.
Mhm.
Okay. We have the approval of minutes. Next order of business is the approval of minutes. Do I have a motion to accept the March 28th minutes as written?
I'll second.
All in favor?
I have one small correction, just simply the spelling of my name in one place. And I did not print them out. I didn't
Wow.
make it.
Prove that they
Sorry.
can't spell your name right.
I know.
There's a Y, wasn't it?
No, it's in my last name. It's just a random letter. But I figure if somebody wants to search for me, I'd like them to be able to find me.
So we will make that
Yes.
correction.
Thank you.
Her hand is up.
Oh.
Well,
Hi,
she's
Jamie.
waving at us. Yes, Jamie. Do we need to do a roll call vote again? Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I was thinking that maybe that was true.
All right, so we are going to get a motion to change the minutes to correct Alyssa's name. Do we need to do that?
Do you need an actual motion?
I don't know.
Yes.
Just-
Yes.
I move to accept the minutes with the change of Alyssa's name to being spelled correctly.
I second that.
All right. Jamie,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Alyssa,
Yes.
Joe.
Yes, with the caveat that our minutes taker is over there, but now we're
I'm taking-
recording the thing. Now that we're recording the thing, it's
It's okay, but
Oh, Kristen's got it, okay.
Kristen's got it under control.
All right, Sarah,
Yes.
and I will be yes. And next order of business is the report of the administrators.
I would like to say that if the budget, if you folks want to exit stage left, you're welcome to. I mean, you don't have to, you're welcome to stay. We would love to have you.
Do they have to go left or can they go right?
Well, no. you
Or
have-
straight through.
You can go through this little opening right here if you'd like to, but would actually be exiting the stage right. Thank you. I didn't want you to feel like you had to stay there.
All right, you're up.
Thank you. Every year about this time, I come to the board and I talk about the federal grant assurances. We all know that we receive many, many grants, some competitive grants, and some are entitlement grants like Title I or Title IIA for professional development, or IDEA grants for IEP students. We also competitively, we go out and we solicit federal grants like the REST grant that we currently received. That was, and you saw the proof of the grant last week when we did the demonstration on the big smart board that we have, and that was paid from the USDA REST grant. One of the things that we're required to do on an annual basis is to review the assurances. At one time, the assurances were different for each one of the grants, and constantly we were signing off and putting them up on the New Hampshire Department of Ed's website. Now what they have done is they combined all the assurances, 25 pages of assurances. And we are required to talk about them at a school board meeting, and also to ask our school board chair to sign off on every single page. But before we do that, I also want to give you some background information. I met today with our administrative team of people that manage grants, and we actually went through many of the assurances that we're signing off on. Some of them do not apply to us, but others certainly do, especially the procurement, the expense, the auditing parts. And so in talking with everyone, I decided that we're going to put a booklet together, a 3-ring binder, and we're constantly going to update as we update policies, update this for grant assurances in the future as well. I gave you on my report just a general synopsis And you see it's broken into general assurances, and there was 38 items underneath that part. Then it was explanation of grant management requirements, and under that was definitions and certification part. It's pretty lengthy in nature. There was some things that I'm going to be honest, I had to go up and look myself. Like there's one part that says the Stevens Act. Well, it's been a few years since I reviewed that, and I went back and reviewed the Stevens Act with the team today. And everything is very important that you look at your grants when you write a grant, that you make sure that you abide by the assurances and the timelines. It's very time sensitive and very involved. And I'm just really, really fortunate. The district is fortunate to have somebody at central office. And I would like you to know that Cheryl Mayberry is our grants manager, and she does an excellent job. And I just want you to realize how much time and effort is put into the grants. And it's not just managing them, it's reading, making sure that you have the right information, the right documents, et cetera, and uploading to DOE, as well as making sure that your paperwork is perfect. We've had audits during the past number of years. We had a financial audit on every one of our grants probably about 3 years ago. And again, we always have impeccable books. We have annual audits with our auditors on an annual basis, and we have never had any findings. And that's why we want to keep it as we move forward as well. So if there's anything in particular that I could explain about the grants, but again, I can give you like complete copy, but I'm happy to answer any questions. But this is the process that we have gone through, and it needs to be documented in the notes that I talked about the grant assurances. And secondly, Greg and I would have to sit and go over every single page. What I had also done in the past is meet one-on-one with the school board chair and vice chair and go through at length every single item. And so if there's any questions about it, we would have the time to talk about it. So that's basically about grants. Any question? Jamie?
Hi, I'm gonna try not to reverb here, sorry. When is this due? Is this for 22, 23, Lori?
This is for next year, yes. That's when we move forward, 22, 23.
And when is the assurance due by?
It's due, I think, by the end of the school year. I just want to make sure that we don't drop anything. It was sent to me on April 4th, and you know how I am, Jamie.
No, not at all. I know you're very good at what you're doing there. Here, I have one concern. I have a concern about the plan for the changeover and the monitoring of all the grants, because if not a lot has changed, there's probably only 2 or 3 people there who really are, or maybe 4 now, who are really involved in the grants at different department levels. So, and we're going to have a brand new BA who's been involved from a board standpoint, but not from the chair of a business administrator standpoint, and a brand new superintendent. So I just have some concerns about, how, if you've got a transition plan. I know you've mentioned, Cheryl's work is very tight and very good. I would concur with that. And I just want us to be prepared so that that the transition is seamless. And I would hope that, maybe you can speak with her and your other grants managers, to come up with something that can occur so that the new superintendent potentially coming right in on July 1 is not bombarded with, having to make any big decisions. So that's my only concern. I know we do it every year. I don't think it changed. I saw it come across my desk at the same time you got it. And I don't think a lot has changed on it, but that's just my concerns.
I agree with you, and that's one reason why I really think it's important that I do that 3-ring binder with the paper copies. This way, the policies, procedures. There's some things on the assurances, like what this one, like the river, scenic river grant or something or law, there's no way that we're even anywhere near there, or cruelty to animals or testing and et cetera. Those are just all blanket federal grants. But the ones that pertain to us, especially with the ESSER funds, such as the Bacon Act, we have to make sure that we adhere to those rules and regulations. And so I think it's really important that I have that in writing for the next person and a resource guide. And secondly, you have very strong administrators that do minister these grants, and building principals are very supportive of that. So you're right. I think there needs to be a transition. I'm more than happy to do that. I think the best way is the paper trail that we leave behind, as well as the conversations. And so,
Do you have a second signatory?
sorry, a second what?
A signatory, a second signatory, because we don't have an assistant superintendent here. Do you have a second person who signs off in lieu of your absence?
Not at this point. Nobody that has been formally designated as such. In my absence, the principals do have certain authority, but we have never done that for grants at the present time.
So we might want to do that with the DOE. Just check into it and see what ability you have to do that. That way, Lori, if, it just might make it more seamless if we have somebody who already knows how everything works. If the DOE will allow for that. I think they do. I think they allow for you to have a grants administrator.
I will check on that.
Yeah, thank you.
So, is Mr. Jack?
Can I just?
Oh, I
that's it
thought
for
you
the
were,
grants,
oh,
I'm
I thought you
sorry.
were done. Okay.
I also want to mention about the Bright Future Survey. Again, the link is on our website. We're encouraging families, schools and staff, students, and community members to complete the survey. It's a culture survey. We did it last year, and it'd be nice to compare 1 year to the next. And so I really truly encourage people to go and actually do the survey. It doesn't take that long, probably about 15, 20 minutes at the very most. The next item was transportation. As you know, you can't get there from here. It's been really difficult having Route 12 closed. But we have been using, first it was South Hemlock Lane, but because of the mud season and the weight limits on the roads, we have gone to Cranebrook Road. We had many meetings and tours with our transportation committee. And right now, Cranebrook is closed because of the mud, and it's just not passable at the present time. We were using Ackworth Road, and we did talk with the people in Ackworth as well, and they notified us that they need to do additional work on the shoulders of the road, and they have a DES permit to do it, but there's a time limit for them to complete that work. So consequently, they have to close down the Ackworth or the South Hemlock Road. I'm sorry, Cranebrook Road. I got the roads mixed up. And so right now we are going all the ways up to Ackworth and coming down Hill Road, down to 123A, then to the high school. It's taken a little bit longer. All the parents have been notified of that change. And we are going to continue that route until at least April break, maybe even longer. We're not sure yet. Depends on the weather and how dry we are. If we start getting a lot of rain, it may be longer. So when I understand Governor Sununu is coming out to visit in sometime in April, I certainly hope people have the opportunity to say something about the difficulties that we've had and how we were able to work as a community and as a team to really support having our students get to school in a safe and quick manner. So I want to thank all the towns, Langdon, Ackworth, and Charlestown, for all the efforts and work they put into the roads. The last item on my report was the New Hampshire state assessment. I also gave you information from the state. It was right from the state website. We've already done our SAT exam at the high school. We are currently now starting our grades 3 through 8 assessments of ELA and math. Grades 5, 8, and 11 will also be doing science. We also do during this time alternative assessments, and we have just finished our English language learner assessments as well. So that was it. Any questions?
Thank you.
Hold on, Greg,
Yes.
Lori, could you resend the links to that Bright survey? Because your links didn't work in your report.
Okay, I'm happy to do that, but if you go to the district website, it's right on the front page of our website as well.
Excellent,
And,
thank you.
Last report, when I gave it to you, those links work. This one doesn't. It's one of the facets of it. And if that doesn't work, just let me know and I'll send it directly to you.
If it's on the SAU, then we're fine.
Yes. So I know Mr. Jack wanted to talk about the MS 22 form today and ask that everybody signs off on it so you can actually upload it to the Department of Ed.
Good evening. I think, I'm sure you have in front of you the MS-22 report, and what this really is just a summary of the budget that was presented via the warrant article process, and then the results of the voting on the second Tuesday in March. And we have all of those pieces. Initially, when you go through what we present, at least to DRA, you only present the appropriations as voted, and all of the warrant articles, other than the first warrant article, which is the large one, are independent. So there's never a total in there. When we finish up the voting, Department of Revenue Administration asked that we now integrate all the warrant articles that were passed into the budget, so it gives you a complete budget. On the MS-22, you see under each of the it'll say account instruction. Those are function codes. You'll see, for example, regular programs, warrant articles 1 and warrant articles 2 were what the driving forces for the funds that are being allocated. A question may come up, at least it came up to me because I hadn't been here before, on why there is no middle school amount. Fall Mountain is designated as a K through 8 elementary district. Many school districts do it that way. Some break out the middle school and put it in as well. But your designation is a K through 8 and a high school. So that's why there's nothing in the middle school. And you have reported in this fashion historically, because that's the way it's been designated to be. As you go down here, it just goes down through all the warrant articles. And if you look in the very bottom of the page, you'll see the 4,600, which is the building improvement, which are the designation of the amount of money that was going for the trust funds and so forth, and how those were allocated. And that really is this document. And what we have to do tonight is I have to have a signed document. When you sign the document that approves it, we then scan it and we upload it back in the portal at the Department of Revenue Administration. If you're wondering if these numbers tie out, I can't do this report unless the numbers tie out. So unless these are the numbers that, because we reported the numbers that were being proposed for your budget, when we go to put these together, all the numbers have to total up correctly. So it is the amount from the vote in March. So I welcome any questions. You do this once a year, every year.
I have a procedural question. Should I add my name to this and sign it at this point?
Are you sworn in?
I believe I am, yes.
Yes, he's sworn in.
I mean, it's the board members. I'm not certain that this, I think this is when we sign this, and obviously we're signing it now. and I might even defer and ask Jamie, but I think that it's the board members that are at the table when we ask for the signature. So I would say, yes, please.
Jamie, do you want to weigh in on that?
Yeah, I'm still not sure we were supposed to seat him at the table, but he did get sworn in, so I'd say, yeah, go ahead. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if there's supposed to be a 1-day lag or when you seat somebody at the table after appointing them, but I think the law is actually probably silent, so go for it. Sure, sign mine too while you're at it.
Thanks.
So I have a question, and it may be procedural or not, but on the very front, it says form due date 20 days after the annual meeting. Does that mean we were supposed to get this within 20 days after the second Tuesday of March? I've never done one of these before, so I would like to know what we're supposed to be doing.
So yes, DRA requires that. That's what you'll see on their website. If you look at the different districts, a lot of districts comply on time. Historically, I think last year you complied about the same time. There's no penalty for not complying. They would like it within 20 days. I've been working with them, so to answer your question, Alyssa, yes, it should have been in 20 days. We're gonna, as soon as you sign this, I'll get it and it'll be uploaded into the portal. Nobody has contacted me. Yes, if they were lagging and needed the information tomorrow, I would have heard about it.
Okay, so essentially it's no harm, no foul, but in the future, maybe we could do it on time.
I like on time.
I like on time as well. I appreciate you putting it together, however. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Anybody else have any other questions? Comments?
Mr. Chairman? Mr. Chairman?
Sounds like Gabe.
It is Gabe.
Okay.
That's.
Yes, Jamie raised a good point and I would like clarification. How would I sign it with also being on Zoom?
You wouldn't sign the MS-22.
This is, yeah, so this is just for the board members. This is not the budget committee.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. I misunderstood.
Next year, Gabe. Next year, the budget committee would probably have a role in the filing.
Right.
Thank you, Jamie.
Yeah.
All right. That concludes the report of the administrators, and we are on to the consent agenda.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as written on the agenda.
Second.
All right, we'll do a roll call vote. Jamie?
I have a question first, sorry. The Spanish club with the trip to Costa Rica, we're all good with that? Did we discuss that?
Yeah, is this?
It's next year.
Yeah, but didn't they come?
No,
Or was that
that
was
was-
that's
that
a
was-
different one?
This is a different trip.
Okay.
I think it's 2-day trip. There's 20 students. There'll be 3 chaperones. And the date of this, I know it's next year, is April 24th of 23 to May 2nd of 23.
Do we historically approve something that far in advance, a year in advance? Is there a caveat, the approval?
For that kind of a trip, because they have to do fundraising for that. I know that we did that when my kids were in school, we knew they were going to Italy a year before.
Okay.
They were going to Italy and France. Kids have traveled more than I have. They've been to Israel a couple of times. They've been to Italy. They've been to
Okay. Yeah, assuming the world is, yeah, safer and everything's okay. Yep. All right, great.
Jamie, when we had students going to, I think it was it France for one of the trips, and then COVID hit, there was a lot of provisions, a lot of discussions about, how agencies can reimburse families. And I think, we've done a good job in being really proactive. I don't know what agency is doing this trip, and maybe Richard can talk a little bit more about it.
That is certainly something going forward that we'll always incorporate into our plans. And the companies have all been really proactive in putting that part of their packages for schools, the clauses for reimbursements and things like that. So it's something we can look for now.
I think at some point, the school board should probably go on one of these trips as chaperones, just to get a feel as to what our students are doing in Costa Rica. You have one for Hawaii or the Bahamas?
Is that an official motion?
No, this is, we're in the discussion part.
No,
so-
clearly procedurally, I'm on point.
I always get stuck with trips to Scranton, Pennsylvania. or something like that.
Thank you.
Yep.
Just ask them.
So, yeah, I mean, we'll just say when we get closer to the trip in a year from now, do we get an update? Maybe just as to how the students are going, what, how their fundraising has gone, and that everything is still ready to roll.
Certainly.
All right. Other than that, does anybody want to remove any of these items? Okay. Do I have a motion to accept the?
You have a motion on the table.
Oh, sorry. I should write these things down. Jamie screwed it up. Jamie, you got to vote.
I'm going to give you a little check sheet that makes your life easier when you do all this.
I
Yeah, it's really
1000% would love to have that.
I would love to do that as soon as I get back. So I'm in Oklahoma, by the way. That's why I'm zooming in. So I'm sorry I can't be there with you. I say yes. Thank you.
Kevin,
Yes.
Shelley,
Absolutely.
Melissa,
Yes.
Joe.
Yes, except next time use A, B, and C instead of A, and B. Might be a little bit, make them a little more sense on the. agenda.
Yes. I am gonna take responsibility for that.
Some of my battleships.
Sarah.
Yes.
And I'm a yes as well. On to the committee reports. We just reestablished committees, and I'm not sure that there are any reports to be had, so. Are there?
Yeah, we had a meeting, the tech committee had a meeting today.
CP, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
And we mostly just kind of getting organized and setting. Joe and I are gonna be participating in some field trips. So that Joe
Yeah, so I can.
and Shelley can come too. But Shelley, they're gonna be during the day.
Oh, depending on where you go.
Well,
I gotta be
we're gonna make
careful,
a-
this
we're
is
gonna
being
make a trip
recorded,
over
so.
to, We're gonna make a trip over to River Valley so that we can see
Oh.
the college over in Springfield. And we're gonna make a trip down to the Cheshire Career Center down in Keene. So we can see what those folks are up to and take stock of all of the students that are coming here, the things that we're doing here. Right now, from what I understand, we're still working, it's still in the building stage of the business part of healthcare careers, the healthcare with a business thing on it, like to do the books for a dentist or something. So that's what they're working on now, and I'm interested in following through on that to see how they're going. It was a very good meeting with Lori and Deb Connell. Yeah, I for one am fascinated by this stuff, so I'm hoping have a good time and along the way, help keep this growing because we've come a lot, from what I understand, we've come a long way as far as being a host district for some of this now. And I want to do my best to keep this growing, keep going in the direction we're going. Don't want to regress just because we've changed superintendents or business administrators or whatever.
Yeah, and I'm excited because I'll be able to, I meet with the board over in, with the River Valley Technical Center board once a month. And so I will be able to now meet with Deb Conley, once a month to kind of get an update in terms of what's going on here. So that we can try to continue to work. We've been starting to work on getting that going back and forth across the river, so that students could go both directions, because our students have been going over to Springfield for quite a while. And we had a little glitch a while ago right around when I left working here in the district, we got into some trouble about our kids going over to Springfield, because we had a lot of kids going to Springfield and not many going down to Keene. And so Keene got a little irritated with that. And so that was a problem, and it really put a damper on things here for a little bit in terms of our programs. And Lori helped to bring us back out of all of that and get things moving again. But I know that Scott wants to have that movement be able to go both ways across the river, so that students from over in Vermont can also come to our programs, because we're offering things here now in our standalone program that they don't offer over on the other side of the river, and that there are students over there that would really like to participate in our programs. So and I think that would be a good thing, so that we could have Vermont students coming here as well as our students going to Vermont. So, that upside down state needs to be able to come over here to the right side up state, but Scott and I have talked about that a little bit, and I know that he's very interested in it, and he's talked a little bit with Lori about it. And so we now will be able to kind of move forward with that. So it'll be good. It'll be good communication.
Any other committees? We do have a facilities committee that we're trying to schedule on 19th. But did you decline that? Not able to make it?
So I have one child's birthday tomorrow, and then literally 1 week from his birthday is my daughter's birthday. And she's actually very loud, so if I was to attempt to do any type of work on her birthday, she will let us all know that that's not an okay thing.
All right, so.
But if you have to have the meeting, because I know Lori doesn't want to hold it up, and I know she wants to get that info to the facilities group so she can get a vote on it, so.
I think it's really important that everybody in the committee is there, so I'm just gonna find another date and time that works.
I
didn't
swear
get
there's
time
no
to
more
do it again.
birthdays until like the second week in June.
We'll make it work, and I think it's very, very important before we move forward any further on it. I do have the, and I think I sent it to you, the tentative proposal that I wanted us to look at before the meeting. And also I sent a sample of the air quality report, so you would know what we're getting. I'd like us to do a little bit more research before that meeting as well.
Okay.
According to the minutes, the last minutes that we had, it says the facilities committee is Craig, Joe, and Shelley. So Lori, could you send that stuff to me as well?
Oh, I'm sorry if I didn't.
Because I didn't even get a request for a meeting on the 19th.
Yeah, I think Joe, I think Craig
handwritten
and
notes then.
I think Joe and I have it where if I can't make it to a meeting, you might be able to, you know how we did that, because we're both kind of interested in that one, but yeah, you should get this stuff.
Okay. Happy to do that.
Thank you.
All right. To the next order of business, other information. So we will not be having a board meeting during vacation week, which is the scheduled April 25th meeting. And then we were discussing having a summer workshop date, sort of a longer day-long workshop. And we were all supposed to send Misty some dates that worked for us, and no one did.
Shelley did.
Oh, Shelley did. Oh. Well, last time-
I
That must be-
squeaked under the wire this morning at 5:30 a.m.
Well,
I'm
I
like,
had talked to Misty yesterday, so.
squeaked it.
So just try, are we sending dates that do work or don't work?
Either or is fine, just whatever. if you just-
I couldn't remember, so you got, well, you know what you got.
Summer's a big range of dates. Do we have like, is it like June, July, or all summer? Doesn't matter.
Just work around everybody's schedule.
I would go from May until August.
Okay.
Mid-spring to mid-fall.
Your life is no longer your own.
Well, yeah, just be grateful that we're not doing goals.
Yeah.
Okay, we got them done.
We might be doing goals, they just will be done. And
Goals are important, Shelley.
I didn't mean goals. I meant like the team, you know what, everybody who went, yeah, you know what I mean. It was like, it was horrid.
all right, so I believe that concludes normal business, and we do have a non-public A and B for personnel and hiring. Do I need a motion to go into non-public?
Yeah,
Could I have one?
I make a motion to go into non-public for personnel.
Personnel and hiring, A and B.
A second?
I'll second.
Roll call vote.
Roll call.
Jamie.
You get the-
So I'm gonna send you
Non-public.
a link, Jamie.
So I'll say yes, and if maybe somebody could just take me in on their cell phone.
Baseball season.
That's fine. I can do
Thank
that.
you for stepping
Either
up.
that or I can send you a Google Meet, which
Did you
which
get-
you prefer.
Cell phone's easiest probably, if you have service.
Okay.
Just because we got the governor coming.
Kevin,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Melissa,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
See you.
Sarah.
Thank you.
Yes.
me, yes. Here we are, Chris.
We had so many people here and